Hello everybody, there are a lot of hype around sand battery recently. The idea is we simply heat big barrel of sand to 500 degrees using free electricity or heat, which would be wasted anyway. Then use the hot sand to heat our houses. I wonder if this battery is able to store energy all the winter, or it just lost all its heat to the air. So we have the size is 4 meters, 7 meters high. I took 500 degrees for my calculation. 600 degrees looks unrealistic for me. Here Q is how much energy our sand battery can store using temperature delta between 500 degrees and 24 degrees. Lost power is how much power is lost over the surface, taking into account that we have 20 centimeters insulation and we have 80 days. It's pretty amazing. Yeah, I'm really surprised. This is 4 meters of sand and 1 meter of insulation. I will calculate how the heat distributed inside the sand during the time. So what we get here is the initial state, and for 10 days it looks pretty impressive. We have 500 degrees in the sand and 500 to 0 degrees in the insulator, and 30 days a bit colder, but it's not much. Core have probably around again 500, and here we get 400 degrees. It's actually pretty amazing. 90 days and 3 months we have pretty amazing temperature inside. Okay, it's actually pretty damn good. Yet another example. I thought, what if we put sand instead of insulation and heat all the sand to 500 degrees. It's pretty much the same. So we have only the sand, and this is initial state, and no, the sand itself, it's not as good. Probably some insulation we need, but still we have impressively 200 degrees in the core. And then I want to calculate something realistic. We have 4 meters silo and 20 centimeters of insulation with mineral wool. Okay, and so this is initial state, how it looks. And day 1, day 2, day 3. It's colder and colder. And if the size is actual sand silo size with reasonable insulation, it's not that good as it was in previous examples. But again, 25 days and we have more than 300 degrees inside the core. Still quite amazing. After the months we have still around 350 degrees inside the core, you see, and it's become colder and colder. So after 2 months it's have around I believe it's 100 and 200 degrees inside the core, Still pretty amazing. 99 days. It looks cold, but it's not that bad. So core have, you see, you can see the temperature right here, and so we have 71 degrees Celsius inside the core and 40 degrees in the middle and just about 10 degree. What interesting here, so interesting that as sand become colder, the heat losses over this surface drops down significantly, so we can tell that it will be 8 kilowatts. It's much less than, it's much less. And actually the sand itself, cold sand itself, worked like an insulator. Okay, what else interesting here? Take a look on the values for sand. Okay, and what it's quite hard to compete with water actually in the process of storing heat and actually transfer the heat, because water has much bigger heat capacity. If this is the heat capacity for the sand, this is the heat capacity for the water, and even the sand is heavier even there. If we, for example, took density and multiplied by heat. Oh no, it's something stupid. Okay, let's say, so we have 1.5 times heavier than water. Okay, and so we have this, let's say it's heat capacity per volume, not per mass but per volume. Even there we have 3 times less capacity than water. Why am I saying this? Because if we just use the water, you don't need heat the water to 500 degrees. It might be much less, let's say, yeah, obviously you can't heat the water for 150 degrees Celsius, but you can heat it to 100 degrees and take a bit more water, and you will have the same heat capacity, but you will have much less losses over insulated surface. Actually, I am wondering why they use electricity to heat air which will heat the sand. Why they just don't put something like this just inside the sand? And it might be actually a problem to get this heat to the houses back through the air. It's easy with big temperature delta, but with small temperature delta you have to pump way more air through the pipes to get the same energy. This is my ideas about sand battery. Just keep in mind, I'm not an expert, not an engineer in this area, so what I'm talking about here can totally be wrong.